The moment you stop pretending something didn't happen, that's where healing begins. Welcome to Healing Beyond the Symptoms, the podcast that helps people discover the root causes of their health struggles and take back control with science, strategy, and self-awareness. I'm Dr. Leah Hahn, a chiropractor and functional wellness doctor who believes that true healing starts beneath the surface. So let's dive in. Can I just be honest with you for a second? So many of the women I work with are doing everything right. They're going to therapy, they're taking the supplements, they're meditating, journaling, trying to eat well, and they still feel stuck, still exhausted, still feel like something underneath just won't shift. And when I sit with them and we start talking and really talking, I usually find the same thing. There's something they haven't quite let themselves look at. Not because they're in denial, not because they're broken, but because at some point in their life, not looking was the safest thing they could do. Today, I want to talk about that because I truly believe, and I've seen this over and over in my own practice, that you cannot fully heal what you haven't acknowledged. And I don't mean you need to dig everything up and relive it. I just mean noticing. Being honest with yourself, letting yourself see what's already there. And that's where true healing actually begins. First, I want to clear something up because when I say acknowledge, I'm not asking you to dig through the past like an archaeologist. I'm not saying you need to revisit every hard thing that's ever happened to you. You don't have to share it. You don't have to explain it. You don't even have to put words to all of it. But here's what I'm saying. If healing is the goal, there needs to be some recognition that something had an impact, that something shifted you, or that maybe even part of your life isn't what it appears to be. There's an incongruency that exists between who you really are and the life that you are living. That's all. Because here's what I see happen when we skip that step. People come in with anxiety that seems to show up out of nowhere. They can't sleep even when they're exhausted. They have pain or symptoms that nobody can fully explain. And their body is working so hard to hold everything together. And I want to gently ask, what if your body isn't falling apart? What if it's just been carrying something for a really long time? Or what if it's trying to maintain a story or a facade about the unacknowledged you? Acknowledgement looks like noticing when you feel tense in a certain situation and getting curious about it instead of pushing through. It looks like paying attention when your body sends you a signal, a tight chest, a pit in your stomach, that sudden wave of tired that hits for no obvious reason. It looks like being willing to ask yourself, where did I learn to feel this way? It's soft, it's quiet. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but it does have to be honest. Now, here's something I really want you to hear. If you have been avoiding some of this stuff, that is not a character flaw. That is a nervous system strategy. Staying busy, keeping it together, not wanting to open that door because you're afraid of what's behind it. Those are protective responses, and smart ones, actually. At some point in your life, disconnecting from something painful was how you kept going. And that took strength. But here's the thing about the nervous system. It's incredibly smart, but it's not great at timelines. It doesn't always know that you're safe now, that the threat is over, that you survived, that you're okay. So it keeps holding on. It keeps guarding. It keeps those protective patterns running, even when you no longer need them the way you once did. Or if it's a current situation, maybe a relationship, maybe a career or education choice that no longer works for you. The body can only pretend for so long until signals start to show. I think about this a lot with women who identify as the strong one, the capable one, the one who holds everything together for everyone else. And I want to ask you something. Is that independence, or is it a learned response from having to rely only on yourself? Is that easygoing nature you're known for, or is it who you truly are? Or did you learn somewhere along the way that keeping the peace felt safer than having a need? I'm not saying the answer is one thing or the other. I'm just saying it's worth getting curious. It's worth asking. It's worth asking yourself the tough questions because when we can see a pattern clearly, when we can name it, something shifts. We get a choice back. We can start to ask, is this pattern still serving me? Or is it time to do something different? I've worked with so many women over the years who came in for physical symptoms, chronic pain, hormonal issues, exhaustion that never went away. And what we found when we went deeper was that their body had been holding things their mind hadn't fully acknowledged yet. I'm thinking of one woman in particular. She came in absolutely depleted. She'd tried everything. But when we started working together and her nervous system began to soften and open up a little bit, what came up wasn't a physical symptom. It was grief, old grief she had never really let herself feel because there was always something more urgent to tend to. And this is what I want you to understand. What isn't felt or named doesn't just disappear. It finds another way to be expressed in the body, in our relationships, in the way we show up or don't show up for ourselves. Your symptoms are not random. Your body is not betraying you. It's communicating with you. And the question I want to bring into the room is, what is it trying to say? This is why in the work I do with Network Spinal Care, we're not just working on the spine structurally, we're working with the nervous system, which is where those protective patterns live. And when the nervous system gets the signal that it's safe, when it can finally begin to let go of what it's been holding, that is when real healing can move through a person, not just relief, real reorganization. And on a side note, the more real you are, and the more your life choices reflect who you are at your very core, the more your nervous system and your body can move into restorative healing. This moves us towards living an authentic life. So here's what I want to leave you with today. Healing doesn't ask you to erase the past. It doesn't ask you to be okay with things that hurt you. It doesn't ask you to forgive on a timeline or pretend everything is fine. What healing asks is something much quieter. It asks you to stop pretending that something didn't happen or that a choice that worked for you in the past no longer works for you now. To let yourself know what you already know. To give some of that care and attention you so freely give to everyone else back to yourself. And I want you to know, no one else needs to validate your experience for it to matter. You don't need someone to say, yes, that was hard, before you're allowed to say it yourself. Your story is real. What you've carried is real, and you deserve support in putting it down. That awareness, that gentle, honest acknowledgement is where true healing begins. When I think of my own story, I think about how different choices I've made have worked for different periods of my life. And sometimes it was facing the honest and brutal truth that some of those decisions that I thought were great when I was 18 or 25 or 30, they didn't work for me any longer. I needed to change paths. I needed to do things differently. And what I noticed is that a lot of the issues that I had, not getting good quality sleep, waking up way too early in the morning and feeling wired but tired, a lot of those issues naturally went away. They naturally healed as I made choices that were much more in alignment, much more congruent with who I really was. It was the game changer. So while I was trying all kinds of external things to help me survive those times, it really took building authenticity in my own life to make the biggest difference in my healing process. That, along with nervous system-based care, helped me reorganize how I was thinking, how I was making choices, and again, came into greater congruency between who I really was and the life that I was living. Before I let you go, here are a few things I want you to carry with you from today. 1, acknowledgement doesn't mean reliving. It just means letting yourself see what's already there. Start with curiosity, not judgment. 2, if you've been avoiding something, That's not weakness. That was once a protection. And now, when you're ready, you get to choose something different. And 3, pay attention to your body this week, not to fix it or analyze it, just to listen. What is it saying? Where is it tight or heavy or numb? Start there. And 4, healing is a series of small acknowledgments, not one big dramatic breakthrough, just small moments of honesty with yourself over time. Thank you so much for being here today. If this episode touched something in you, if you felt something shift even slightly, I want you to know that's not a coincidence. That's your body responding to truth. Honor that. If you're ready to go deeper and want support in this kind of healing work, if you want to go beyond regulation and into rewiring and reorganizing your nervous system, I'd love to invite you to book a wellness consultation at bodyandbalancechiropractic.com. We'll look at what your nervous system needs to finally feel safe enough to let go. If today's episode lit something up in you, please share it with someone who needs permission to start living a more authentic life. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and leave a review for the podcast. Your reviews help more people discover these conversations about healing, nervous system health, and living beyond the symptoms. Thank you for being a part of this community. Until next time, breathe deep, be gentle with yourself, and remember, you can't heal what you don't acknowledge. But the moment you do, everything becomes possible. Thanks again for joining me today on Healing Beyond the Symptoms. If you've been curious about network spinal, or if you've tried everything else and still feel stuck, I want you to know this. Your body is not broken. It's patterned, and those patterns can change. If you're ready to experience how gentle care can lead to profound transformation, I'd love to invite you to book a wellness consultation at bodyandbalancechiropractic.com. Together, we'll look at what your body needs to finally release, reset, and thrive. Until next time, breathe deep, trust your body, and remember, gentle can be powerful.